Hi guys, it's Toby here from the Small Biz Academy. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to put on your homepage for your business to be able to maximize your leads and conversions. I'll go through the 3 key things that you need to think about when planning out your site and planning the content to be on the site. I'll then show you a wireframe for a homepage for a business that is looking to create appointments or calls, and also a wireframe for an e-commerce business for their homepage, so that those pages are set up so you can maximize the business you get from them. So let's get into it. Now, I'm sure I don't need to tell you about the importance of having a website. The website is your most important thing when you're marketing your business. It's the center of your marketing campaign. I'm old enough to remember when websites weren't so important. I even remember something called the yellow pages. You might need to ask someone older what that was. But nowadays, you've got to have that content-rich website. Now, the most important page on your website is the homepage, because that's where most of your traffic comes. So the homepage needs to direct people to where you want them to go, either on the website or what you want them to do next. And that's the first thing you need to think about when you are planning your website is, what's the objective of the website? What are you looking to achieve? Now, it sounds obvious, but as an example, if your next step is for them to book in an appointment and meet with one of your salespeople, you want to give them enough information to want to book that appointment. You want to make the next step, oh yeah, I may as well. So it's important you understand what that objective is. Now, if you are selling online, so you've got an e-commerce store, obviously your objective is a bit different. It is to sell products. But it's not just to sell products, it's also to sell other products with that product. So often when I'm working with e-commerce businesses, we have a suite, we have key products that attract people to the site. They're the ones that do most of the sales and most of the heavy lifting, but then you want some add-on sales to that so that when they order, their average order value goes up. So the objective there is obviously to get the sale. There are some other objectives that you might want to add to that too. But the key thing first and foremost is understanding, okay, what's the objective of the site? What am I looking to achieve? Am I looking to generate leads or am I looking to generate sales? Then you can plan, okay, what content do I need on the site that's going to help with that objective? The key thing when you put the site together, what you say is what sells, what gets people to take the next step and meet your objective. It's not what the website looks like, it's what you say. That's why the copy on your website is very important. You can say it with copy, you can say it with video, you can say it with images as well, but you want to get that message right. The message is what will drive action. So you need to get very clear on what your key point of difference is as a business, so that people look at it and go, okay, I want to deal with these guys, I like the way they do X, and I'm willing to take the next step. Don't do what a lot of people do. They get their web designers put some copy on the site and they just put generic copy on there that doesn't say anything that everybody else isn't saying, or that doesn't mean anything. You need to get that marketing message right. That's absolutely vital. And the other key thing when you put your site together is having those call to actions in place. So making it very clear of what that next step is. And you want that next step not to be not too big. There's a great saying that you don't ask someone to marry you on the first date. It's the same when you're selling. You don't necessarily ask for the sale straight away. You need to warm them up a little bit, especially if you're not an e-commerce store. So one of the things you might do, and quite often some of the call to actions I have with my clients, is there is a guide or a checklist that gives people useful information to help them to make a decision on what they're looking at, as whether they need it or not. And I'll give you some examples of that in a minute. So someone comes to your site, they go, oh, I may as well download that's useful. Then the next step, next call to action might be then a call. And that could be a 10-minute discovery call to find out if and how we can help you. So it's no hard sale. You're just going to jump on the phone. And obviously that's, in the sales scenario, that's your qualifying message. That's your qualifying appointment. So you're qualifying the lead, that is this a good lead or not. So there's some of the things you want to add in, and you can lead people up to the next step, next step before they make the purchase. Now, obviously a call to action on an e-commerce store is getting that sale, but you need to obviously set up the site to maximize the conversion rate on that sale, and then to maximize the add-on sales that they add on as well to increase your cart value. You can also use lead funnels with them as well. So that's the checklist and the guide as call to actions on your e-commerce store too. Now, the best way to see this is I'm going to show you now a couple of wireframes, one from a lead generating site and one from an e-commerce site for how best to set up your homepage. Right, here's a wireframe for a business that's looking at selling appointments. So our objective here is to get people from the site to talking to us. So we can then give them a quote and follow our sales process. Now, wireframes are extremely useful for helping you plan the website with your web developer. Web developers obviously think in images, so if we can draw out a wireframe, which is just lines on a page, squares of where we want things. So it's really good planning tool, and it's a good way of you getting across what you want to your web developers. So that's why we use them. One of the concepts I need to teach you before we get into this is what we call above the fold. So above the fold is a term that comes from newspapers, and when they're thinking about marketing newspapers were folded up and sold, and all you could see was the top. So they made sure there was a headline on there that attracted people to pick the paper up and look at it. So you're doing the same with your website, but your above the fold is what your website is when they land on it. So if they go on their computer, they land on your site, everything that's there without them scrolling is above the fold. Same with the phone. Everything that's there is above the fold. Now you want to make sure you've got enough content, like a nice juicy headline, that makes people realize, okay, I'm in the right place and I want to look further into the site. You've generally got 4 seconds before somebody clicks away if they don't think it's relevant for them. So it's important we do have that information above the fold. And often what we have above the fold is we make sure, like on this wireframe, we have a headline and we have some intro copy there with some nice images and the call to actions or the next steps poking above the fold as well. So that's really important when you're planning your site. So key things here, obviously you've got the logo, the menu, top right hand corner have a phone number and or button to book an appointment. So the call to action's always there. Then underneath that, we need an intro text. So intro's heading and intro copy, and that should be who you are and what you do. You're summarizing your key points of difference here, and that is the headline above the fold that attracts people to go down and look further into the site. So that's why that's important. Then if we scroll down further, underneath that, then we've got the call to actions. So here, for this type of site, we want 2 calls to action. We want one, which is, for example, here, book a quote, and the other is download a guide or a checklist. So to give you an example of how that might work, I've got a client who builds granny flats. We've got 2 calls to actions on their site. One is download a checklist, the 21 steps to building your perfect granny flat. So that's useful to people in our market for them to help them in their process. And it's got all the 21 steps in there. So it's really useful content. Also, if they download it, it positions us as the experts, and we then have call to actions to move into the next level, which for them is to book a discovery call. So we say book a 10-minute call to find out if and how we can help you with your granny flat, work out whether you'll get planning permission on your property and roughly how much it might cost you. So that then also isn't a big commitment. So that call to action isn't get somebody around your house to do measure and quote, because that might be a bit big. It's a 10-minute call. Oh, anyway, I can talk to them for 10 minutes. Like, it's not a hard sell. They know they're not going to get a hard sell. And that initial call is you qualifying the lead too. So that's the other thing as well. You want people going, I may as well to the next step. So they hit your site, I may as well download that checklist, that'd be useful. I may as well have a chat with them for 10 minutes, could be useful. And then after you've had the chat, well, I may as well get them out to do a quote. And then before you know it, they're at the end of the sales process. But you need your call to actions high up, so that when people are ready, they can click straight on there. We scroll down a bit further, then you need to do, and this is now looking at your marketing message. Your marketing message should include what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. They're the 3 decisions that kind of people look at, and different people look at different things. So what you do is obviously clear what you do. On the homepage, you need an image or an icon. You need a heading, some intro text, and then a button to click to read more. Because what you want is not too heavy information. Too much text will put people off. Some people like to read text, so they can. They can click on and can read more. For each service page, this should then be set up as a funnel itself, where it's got those call to actions on those pages too. Then we look at, okay, why choose us? This is what we do. This is how we do it. This is what we do, how we do it. This is now your key points of difference. You need at least 3. More if you can, but at least 3. And again, here you need a summary and a button to read more. Then who we are. So this then talks about you. This is your why, really. This is why we do what we do. This is who we are. And the videos can be quite good there as well, with you in there. People buy from people they know and like. So video is another good way of sharing that message. Then you can talk about featured jobs or projects, if that suits your industry, but something to showcase your work. So that could be case studies, it could be job details, it could be images, something that case studies your work so they can see it. Then you need some feedback from clients or customers. So that can be video testimonials, or it can be written testimonials, or both. But then that's giving you social proof. So third-party evidence of what you're saying is true. Then you've got your call to action again. So the people then are ready to take that step or move to the next step. So that's the key things you need to have on your homepage for a business that's selling appointments or quotes or measures. Now let's look at an e-commerce business. Now for an e-commerce business, you're going to follow a lot of the same principles, but there are some key differences. For your e-commerce business, your homepage really is the front of the store. So if you think about a bricks and mortar store when people are going shopping, this is your window display. This is when they walk in, it shows them the direction they need to go to find what they're looking for. So your shopping aisles. So it's really important we could direct people from the homepage where we want them to go. And first of all, you start off by making sure obviously you've got the menus and everything like that. But then you also make sure you've got a nice search functionality directly in the middle at the top. So if somebody knows exactly what they're looking for, they can just type it straight into the search. Underneath that, those squares there, they are the main categories of your product. So this is your shopping aisles. So here, there's the signs for the shopping aisles. You can get people to your category pages as quickly as possible. Then, same as the other one, intro copy, who you are, what you do. So again, you want to get your point of difference across, why they should buy from you instead of going to bloody Amazon or something like that. Nice image there, make that look good. Then you have bigger links to your categories underneath that, so your main categories. And that categories could be divided up by product type, but it could also be divided up by customer type. That's another way of doing it. And often what I do with clients is I'll have product categories at the top and then customer categories underneath. So it's a great way of dividing that up, and obviously you're just trying to help people find their way to where they want to get to as quickly as possible. Then we've got some other call to actions. So often a good call to action is actually to have a facility for them to ask questions. So again, this is somebody in your shop who might be looking for the assistant to ask some questions before they make a purchase. So you want that functionality there. And that could be a form they fill in that then you do an email, or it could be chat, just depending how much traffic you've got on there. But you want to be able to answer questions, and that's another way of generating leads. And then obviously you want a guide on there as well. So as an example, I'm working with a client at the moment. He sells head units for vehicles. So people who want to put in a new head unit and upgrade their head unit, very good head units he sells. Now, one of the key things we've got is obviously he sells mainly the head units, but then he sells the accessories that go with it as well, like dash cams and stuff like that. So one of the things we've got on there, we've got ask questions, ask an expert, and we've got a guide then, 21 things you need to think about when buying a head unit for your vehicle. So they've got that there as well. And then obviously we've got the categories set up by car type. And then when they click on that, it goes to the car, it's got the head unit for the car, and then it has the accessories as well. So that's the way of dividing it up. Then you want, okay, why choose us? So this is again your point of difference. And that could be based on your products, or it could be based on you as a company. So you want to get that across, same as the other ones. And again, testimonials from customers and looking at things like that. Then you can have links to other products. That could be popular products or new products as well. One thing we did have, and I don't know if I got it on the other one, but you do want your blog set up on your site as well. and you want that link to your homepage. So that again is the content, the useful content. Your website wants to end up being a content-rich website. It does that by you adding blogs on a monthly basis, which helps and guides people on buying your product or service. And then you can email that out as well. But that's kind of what we need to do from on a homepage for an e-commerce business versus a lead generating business. I hope you found that useful in planning your homepage on your website. If you do want any help with that, if you've got any questions, you can put comments below, or you can reach out to me. My details are in the description, and I can help you develop and grow and put your site together for you. Also, if you want to follow any more of these videos, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Lots of content there that will help you in your small business, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.